My first that I'm going to try are the coins. So to make a rubbing, you're going to take your texture material and put it underneath the paper that you're drawing on. I'm going to take all these coins and put them in different directions. So some are face up and some are face down. To make your rubbing, you're going to put your paper in place, take your art media, and then with the pencil on the side, just draw over them. The material that's underneath, you're going to want it to stay still. Is it going to move on you? Yep, it is. But just try to use the hand that you don't draw with to hold the material as still as you can that you're getting the textures from. But what you're basically trying to do is use the pressure from your art media, this is the graphite art media, to get the rubbing of the texture that's on your object. So I'm beginning to see with the pressure that I'm putting on here, all of the different details from each of the coins. And then once I'm done with the rubbing and practicing this art media, I'm going to make a note by writing what the art material is next to the practice. So let me move my coins out of the way. I'm going to write down graphite because this is a graphite pencil. I'm going to try
the same object but with crayons because that's the other art media that I was able to collect. I'm just going to move my paper to a different place and try to see what happens when I use a crayon with my coins.
So it's going to give me a little bit of a different effect because it's color. You may even think about what's going to happen if you layer the colors together, if you have multiple crayons. Remember, I just wanted you to try to do your best with what you have at home.
So I'm going to layer this blue on top. So with this step, we're all about play and what can we get
from layering these materials together. So those are my coins with the crayon. My next material I'm going to try are the keys that I found. So the texture of the keys should be different than the graphite. With the keys, let's go to color pencil.
So now I'm getting a totally different texture from what the key looks like. And you see that what's happening is that the graphite, not the graphite, but the color pencil, is picking up the edges of the key. So I'm going to get different texture than what I got with those coins. So those could be fun. This is why we're practicing so that we can kind of know what's going to happen. So that's the color pencil.
So I'm going to write that down.
I didn't write down crayon. Let me make sure that I do that. All right, and what did I do with those materials that I found at the fireplace around the wood? These should be fun because of that netting, and I should be able to get a really large area. So again, under the paper, let me find my pencil. And then based on the amount of pressure that I'm able to put down, I should get a very different texture. And I want you to play with what happens when you go light or dark with your pressure. See what happens? See what happens if you layer in a different color, so that you are able to predict what's possibly going to happen when you do your final piece. So that's kind of fun, and that's from the netting, so I need to write that down. And then my last example for you all, I'm going to use this plastic that has texture on it. That's kind of plastic with looks like some diamond texture. So to test that out, putting that on my piece, I'm going to get a color pencil. See, and that's giving me a very different texture than what I got with the netting. And I can even see what is it that happens when I use maybe a different color. It's going to create a different effect. And then look at how I've ran into where that color pencil is, so I'm able to see that as well. So on the first paper, try your different materials out with your different art media.